Greetings, dears. So here it is. One of my favourite months of your year is because it is such a month of transition. And this month is all about transition. And Jim's birthday. Bunny's birthday. Suzanne's birthday. Marion's birthday. Donna Cassie's birthday. All right, who has birthdays in February? That is quite a group of you, isn't it? Well, add your power to this night, because you know birthday energy really moves things along in a good way. You have been in 18 months, 20 months of massive change. If you know what you are here in this world to do, if you have a destiny, if you have anything binding that isn't a compact, that has to do with your life experience, you are going to be getting the mini version of it this month. So if you do not know why you're here and what you need to be doing, I will tell you that that's the case for many who, since the solstice, have been asking themselves, what do I do now? Because it is such a massive time of change. If you have been working through core issues, and as a result have become a new being, then you have been asking yourself, all right, what can I do to serve with that? This month is for you. It's for you to make the most of and for you to learn from, and don't get tense. Because when I say to learn from in this case, I'm not saying, so watch out. I am saying, pay attention. Learn from what's going on day by day. Look for patterns.
How is that different than watch out?
Watch out, when I say it, usually means you're going to go through some hardship. And I'm not saying that. It's about learning about your greater purpose and having opportunities in a small way to serve that purpose, and what you want to be looking for are those experiences of happiness and joy. Because it is your positive experiences that are the universe's way of helping you know, this is it. This is what I'm good at. I want to keep this flowing. The negative experiences are just that. Negative experiences to remind you that you've still got an attachment somewhere with something that needs change to happen. And in a month of such massive transformation, you will be more able to make those changes. The transformation is about creation force. And the biggest outpouring of that creation force is going to be about the 19th. Right. Around that time. Right before the full moon, which is 22nd? All right. So, yes, right before the full moon. Think about what you want to manifest in your life, particularly as it has to do with relationships. That has nothing to do with torturing and killing Saint Valentine. I've never understood why you celebrate that day. And everything to do with relationships, such as your relationship insofar as attitudes. What is your attitude with regard to the work you do, the service you give, the friends you have? Attitude. Acceleration. You're going to be finding that those things that you look at are accelerated because you are looking at them. With regard to relationships, you want to pay attention, because accelerating a relationship means you must know what you want in that relationship, because it's going to be accelerated. So be what you want to receive in all of those relationships, because what you be is going to accelerate and show up very quickly. And material manifestation. This is always a tricky one, because occasionally I will say this is a great time of manifestation, and someone later will say to me, well, I didn't get any manifestation. What are you talking about? Again, know what you want and center what you want around positive experiences, and let what you want surrounded in that positivity, is that a word? Manifest with acceleration. It's a very great time right now. And it's all leading up to the equinoxes outpouring and outflow of energetic transmission that will be working once again at your most vital levels of change. So use this month to turn around, to stabilize your hopes, your dreams, what you want to manifest. Become that person. And then watch it accelerate and come about. Spiritually speaking, as I said, it's all moving toward the equinox, with that energy transmission coming about at that point. No energy transmission is noticed by you if you're not working in alignment with it. If you're not paying attention, it will just be one more, maybe odd day, or two, or three, or four. Your consciousness makes all the difference. So work on your consciousness of the outflowing energy that is pouring into this world and activating and making your body more available to light. All right, that was the quick, what would you call that? Forecast. Now, although I'm not going to talk about Saint Valentine, I am going to talk to you about relationships. And I'm going to tell you the one thing that makes relationships fail, even more than lack of communication. Anybody got any ideas of what that might be?
Trust.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. A lack of trust, or trusting too much where you probably should not be. We'll definitely have difficulty within a relationship. Gwendolyn, then David.
If we are striving to become what we want, won't we attract that?
Gwendolyn is saying, if we're working on a particular function of being, aren't we going to attract that? Absolutely. But you know what the difficulty is there? Sometimes all that potential is there in this individual you meet, but they are about as asleep as they come. And so you don't get support and you don't get help. You get somebody with a whole lot of potential that just aggravates a guardian to death. So yes, you will attract, but be careful.
No vision, no goals.
And that's going right in line with where I'm going, so I'm going to go with that. The word I was going to use was procrastination. And one of the major aspects of that is procrastinating the coming together to set a common vision, common goals. Now, you may be thinking a relationship of sexual love. You may be thinking a relationship at work, the boss and those that work with the boss. You may be thinking a parental relationship. It doesn't matter. Procrastination will kill it. And the most important thing to avoid procrastinating about is making a common vision. Very often in your workplace, a common vision shows itself up as, here is what we're going to be doing right now. And you don't even think of that as a common vision. It is. In a personal relationship, with a friend, with a lover, you often never think about, let's talk about what we want in this relationship. And as a result, expectations develop, and loss, which is secondary, the cousin to expectations, start showing up at your door.
Maybe my work is very different than others, but
Count on it.
What we do is we don't just to get together to talk about what we're going to be doing, but how we're going to be doing it, how we're going to work as a group, what individuals will get out of it to improve. And we try to make it a win-win. It's not just a here's your task, go do it.
You're selling it.
Huh?
You're selling it.
Yes.
Here is why this is going to be helpful for the greater vision we share. And what happens in so many relationships that do not clarify in that way is that the assumption is that you know all that. The assumption is that you know what to do and how to do it and why you're doing it and what you're going to get out of it. Humans in this current matrix have become used to being drugged and working on remote. And you don't think about, why am I doing this? What am I gaining from this? What is the other gaining from this? Is it in balance? Within a personal relationship, how do you know if there is balance in the what am I receiving, what are you receiving? This is your night, Deva.
If you feel resentment,
All right, if you feel resentment, you're missing something. I would have gone perhaps in a different direction and said the same thing in another way, which is if you feel like you're getting it all and your other feels like they're getting it all, you've got a nice balance. I am receiving so much from this, and the other feels like they are receiving so much from this. And the opposite side of that is resentment. Resentment, although you don't want to get into the habit of looking at what ails you, it teaches you what you don't want, doesn't it? So if you find you're irritated just a bit about this, or you don't appreciate that that is going on with them, take a look at it, because there is a lack of balance. What else tells you that there is a lack of balance?
Frustration.
All right, I'm going to put frustration in with resentment because they very much show up together. Stuart.
Another would be guilt.
You all are really good with hitting it from the negative side, aren't you? Yes, that's true. Guilt.
Feeling, what I was thinking is the opposite side is feeling like you are receiving more than you're giving, so you might feel, certain situations you might feel guilty about that.
I don't really have a problem with that kind of guilt. If it's a part of, therefore, what can I do to give more back? You go ahead and feel all the guilt you want if you're feeling guilty because you're receiving so much out of a relationship and you're just sitting back and propping up your feet and enjoying all of that receiving. Well, feet in your face was not what you thought of tonight, is it? I'm going to say happiness. Procrastination kills, happiness builds. Procrastinating on saying, I love you. Procrastination on that wee little voice that says, why don't you do this and help out in this way? And you ignore it. I'm too busy. You justify not following through. Procrastination in working things together. And that's where I'm going to put that vision and those goals. Working things together. Guardians want to be lone rangers. I think most of you know what I mean by that, but I will define it. The individual who goes off on their own said to me once, as it's easier to get forgiveness than get permission. I call that a lone ranger, one who does not play well with others. Oh, but I play well with others. I just don't want to. This time is about unity. It is about reaching out and connecting with each other. This past weekend, I think Earthlight was just trying to kill themselves by being around so many screaming crystals that they'd see how far it could go. But repeatedly, the word from those who were there was, this is about networking. Even more than selling you this crystal, it's about networking. Do you network your friends with those you work with family? To network, it's more than just touching in, isn't it? It's more than seeing them and saying hello. It's searching out ways that you can serve each other. Do you do that in your relationships? Do you seek ways to give to the other? Or do you instead pay attention to what you're not getting? Do you procrastinate when you see a way you can work with another? Because you know that will slow you down and you'd rather just do it yourself. Lone rangers kill relationships. Because lone rangers don't need them. And every relationship, when it is, let me modify that, every human to human relationship each individual needs to know that they are needed and how they are fulfilling that need. That's two. That's not one thing. If you only leave it at, I need you, then you're a weight. You're hanging on, and things are out of balance. But if it's, I need you, I need this, and here are the ways I am receiving it, then you are fulfilling the need to be needed that all individuals have. The need to be needed. Procrastination kills it. I cannot speak enough. I'll just be going in circles, repeating myself over and over and over. So hear me when I say, procrastinating on taking loving action is the most wrong you can do in a relationship. More than not communicating well, more not communicating well covers so much, it's hard to come up with little versions of what isn't covered by that. Procrastination. So now I want you to take a step back for a moment. In your life, you have a place where you regularly procrastinate. You know that. Everybody has an area. I don't like doing this. I have never been skillful at doing this. Whatever. You try to push it away for as long as you can. I want you to think about that area of your life. Maybe it's dusting the top of your refrigerator. You don't see it, you procrastinate looking after it. I want you to think about your procrastination. You know you are procrastinating because you get the urge or the desire to do something and you choose not to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm asking you to think about that thing you procrastinate with so that you can better understand what I'm saying by you get that urge or you get the sense that you should be, or the way I would refer to it, that little voice that says, do this now. Are you thinking of that? Mm-hmm. Because that's how you're going to get it. Then I want you to think about what you do to avoid. What are your avoidance mechanisms? And if you're thinking of dusting the top of the refrigerator, probably number one on the list is never look up there. While you're thinking of that thing in your life that you try to avoid, I want you to think about what it is you do to avoid it. Because that's going to be your go-to mechanism. And if you are consciously paying attention, write a note to yourself, stick it where you're going to see it around your house or at your work. And it says, when I'm doing this, I probably should be doing something else. Maybe this. What is your mechanism? And now I'm going to throw it big at you. That mechanism is why you fail in relationships. don't have a good relationship, in a relationship that isn't working, not in a relationship that you want, don't get along with coworkers, don't get along with family, consistently the Lone Ranger, having lots of acquaintances, not many friends, or maybe good friends. It's because that go-to mechanism has shown up in your life in enough ways that it shows up in your relationships. So I want you to think for a moment. How do you procrastinate yourself out of a relationship? Well, you don't give it attention. You don't reward it or them. You don't value into gratitude their presence. Do you understand? To me, that was a real obvious thing. You value them so much that it bubbles out in gratitude. Gratitude tells you when it's healthy. But that's not the only signal of health. So be careful with that. You need each other. Are you willing to do the work to have each other? Are you willing to do the work to have that relationship? Shifting, all right? What do you want in a loving relationship? And remember, I'm always talking about any sort of relationship. It doesn't have to be lovers. It doesn't have to be marital. It's a relationship, but specifically a loving relationship. What do you want in a good friend? What do you want in a lover? What do you want in a great coworker or a good doggy? He didn't want me to leave him out. What do you want? Think about that now. And your homework is make it a list. And then every day send energy to that list, that you will be drawing to you those energies. But aside from the homework, then check yourself out. How do I exhibit this behavior? How do I show this in my life? there is a lot to be said that opposites attract. But the only reason that they attract is because, oddly enough, they are the same. But you're seeing a different facet at a different time. You are going to attract what you're most familiar with to you. What you put the most time and attention to, what you care about the most, you are going to attract yourself, standing there in another body. So what would you want is going to tell you what you can give. Now, yes, it's true. Stuart likes to sing in Spanish and beat on things and run. And Frank and the farm, not so much. But they all have that creative heart. So you see how I'm saying it's there, that connection is there. So what would you want can safely be given to the one who comes into your life. Guardians often, and this is really unfortunate, but there you go, have trouble maintaining relationships. There are a lot of reasons why that is the case. But I want you to think about the nature of guardians for a few moments. Guardians are powerful, high-frequency beings who are here for a purpose, to work in this world, to serve others during this planet's time of transition. That takes a lot of human energy to sustain the high-frequency spiritual energy that's inside working through that body. So guardians tend to be kind of protective, not reach out, not go the extra mile, not try. Now, that's not always the case, mind you, but generally speaking, you're going to find that. Because you are individuals who, for most of your life, have felt different and a little alone, and unlike everyone caring about the same things that everyone else does. Or, sadder still, you've given being like everyone else a try and utterly failed, and then have cast about trying to figure out where you fit. The spiritual force within you wears down the physical force you are. And you need relationships to be balanced and filled back. When you are with people you love, and you are maybe just sharing quiet time, maybe laughing and playing, but either way, it renews you. When you're on your own, you start getting depressed and morose. And you start repelling rather than attracting. I'm not talking about giving yourself alone time. I'm talking about when you think your life is about alone time. Big difference. Because it's not. And there is no better month than this one to realign your energetic system, to renew your consciousness, to recreate your relationships, so that you are capable of being the best you are meant to be while you are here. It's all about giving and balance in receiving. Do not kill off the good in your life because you are procrastinating on acting with love. You will be alone. It's not hard. These aren't huge, showy acts. It is consistent, quiet recognition. Giving, following through. That will keep your heart happy and keep your relationships functional. So you know what not to do. You know what will signal you that you're about to not do something. And you know what will bring healing in that situation. This is a month to manifest everything that is needed for you to fulfill your destiny here. You are a guardian. You need each other. You need a relationship with Source. And you've had plenty of time to work on the one with yourself. So you can stop that now and start working on that which is outside of you. Have a good month. Look in the mirror.
Thank you.
Almost missed it.